Hey dancers, welcome back to our channel. I'm Julie and I'm the owner and one of the ballet instructors here at Broche Ballet, a ballet school for adults in Denver, Colorado. I have here the wonderful Dr. Wes from Highlands Sports and Spine. He's here today to talk with us about our bodies and how to be more stable and how to apply some of his chiropractic techniques to safe and very stable ballet. So welcome to the channel.
Thank you. We're going to be talking about the orientation of our hips, how that impacts our performance, and some strategies to combat hip pain, back pain, and various lower extremity injuries that ballet dancers work with. So happy to be here.
Yeah, exciting. Well, let's get started.
Okay. So the first position that we want to go over is a turnout strength position. It's something that we use in clinic for a variety of hip issues, but in terms of preventing and managing lower extremity pain, lower extremity injuries, and improving performance, we work from a sideline position and we target the hip specifically. The hip is the powerhouse of the lower extremities, so if you're not functioning and stabilizing well from the low back and the hip, then the rest of the lower extremity will suffer for it. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna get Julie in a sideline position.
All right.
There are 2 points that you wanna keep your eye on. A zone of support here at the knee, a zone of support there at the elbow. And we're basically going to be moving from those 2 points. So this is a closed chain exercise. One of the more stable positions you can be in, really hard to screw up, and very challenging as well. So just to begin with, we want to make sure that we pay attention to our setup. So Julie's going to want to try to stay as long through the spine as possible. A lot of dancing principles apply to these exercises, so this will come very naturally for most dancers. She's going to create as much length in the spine as possible.
So I'm not down here.
Right, she's not slouching. She's not flaring the ribs too much. They're kind of tucked away right against the spine. And she's breathing, most importantly, down into the belly. From this position, we're just going to move the trunk as one whole unit. So we don't want to do a lot of twisting here. We don't want to have a lot of movement through the spine in general. The whole trunk wants to move as one unit, and we're going to demonstrate that now with just some rolling patterns. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to have you place your foot right there, and from here we're going to look at the top shoulder and the top hip move together as Julie rolls her whole trunk around that bottom hip. So she'll roll all the way forward and roll all the way backwards. And we're just gonna groove this for a little bit, making sure that the hip and the shoulder move together. Good. And Julie should be feeling a pretty good stretch in her hip external rotators, the downside hip there, so the downside glutes. And this is the general pattern that we're gonna be moving. So once you kind of get this down, making sure that the trunk moves as one, we're going to challenge you a little bit more. We're going to pop up and lift the hip off the ground now. Okay, so from this position, the arm not doing much up here.
Can it be in a ballet position here?
Almost, yeah, you can, honestly, you can assume that nice ballet position. The shoulder blades are stuck right to the thorax. You're long through the spine. Even the top leg can kind of be out in limbo, so it doesn't necessarily have to be on the ground. So just holding this position is a very challenging position. You're going to feel the downside glutes really turn on, as well as the side of the core here. You're going to also want to pay attention to the shoulder. So Julie is pressing the elbow into the ground, almost pushing her body away from the floor. Okay, once you feel that you've got a good stable position, this is where we'll be rolling from. So take a quick break.
Whew, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's definitely not easy. And this is not necessarily a strength exercise. This is all about motor control. So Julie's gonna pop back up here. She's thinking long bots. She's being really long through the spine. And we're gonna implement that rolling pattern now from this position, okay? So everything is really moving around this bottom side hip here. Good. Exactly. Make sure that the top hip and the top shoulder are moving together through space. We'll ensure that the spine is remaining nice and neutral, and that all this movement is happening at the downside hip here. And this looks really good. All right, take a quick break there. So it doesn't take many reps before that you feel that you want to fatigue. And the whole goal here is not to go into fatigue or exercise into fatigue or go to failure. The whole goal here is to maintain good control, go slow, and control every range of motion that you can from this position. Okay?
Yeah, it's very much like when you're in ballet trying to stand up on your standing leg and really keep that side tight and still as this leg is moving around. So if this side or the side on the ground that I was trying to hold still, if this standing side is wiggling around on you, then this working leg can do nothing.
Absolutely.
Because you really need this standing side to be really strong and all this to be connected and in.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing when you're laying on the ground, feeling all that stability on that side like you would need if you were standing up on one leg.
Absolutely.
It's all that same thing.
So you can consider this a remedial position, but you're getting just as much out of it as you would if you were to exercise on 2 feet. So much more stable position to exercise in on the ground, close to the floor, makes it much easier to gain the control we're trying to get. And you're absolutely right. We're trying to emulate that single leg support function. Can you stabilize on one leg while you're moving your extremities basically around one joint? So very isolated movement at this hip joint means that you have to have very good co-contraction between your hip external rotators and internal rotators. So they will be co-contracting here in a single leg stance the same way that they would be from a sideline position. So if you can stabilize an exercise well from a very inherently stable position here, this will carry over to single leg work in your ballet. Okay.
Great.
Great.
Well, that's all for today, dancers. Hope you had a lot of fun learning about this sideline turnout exercise from Dr. Wes. I hope it really helps you be a lot more stable on your standing leg, both at the bar, in center, during your pirouettes, during your extensions, during all those great things. Until next time, don't forget to like, subscribe, check out Highlands Sports and Spine if you need any help with your body, and until next time.